Hi there, and welcome to my Soul Authority channel. I'm Lorraine Van Tool, transformational life coach, holistic psychologist, and meditation guide. I'm staking out the safe spiritual space in solidarity so we can hear our authentic voice over all the noise and realign ourselves with clear choice. This is at the heart of Soul Authority. If you felt burned out and low, join us in rekindling our inner fires and getting back in the flow. Yeah, hello everyone. So this is the model we're going to use, and I'm in the YouTube recording. I'm going to have this on the screen so we can look at it. If you're not familiar with it, this is my soul sanctuary. In the retreating meditation we did last time, I really went deep into it. We're going to do the same thing each and every time, but my guides often offer different kind of guidance. So the last time I know they really set it up slow and deep with each step, explaining all the elements, all the aspects. So we're going to do that again, but just briefly, we're going in the sanctuary, starting your heart center in the center of your chakras, in the middle of the above and below in the four directions. And the directions all around represent mind, body, heart, and soul, and each of the elements, and also like a compass. So you can think of it as the four sacred directions, your heart, the compass. So in order to trust your sacred heart center, and your heart compass, you need to make sure there's no interference. There's no magnets, charged things that are pulling you to react or respond in a way that is not aligned with your true north. So that is what we're going to do today. And here are the circles of influence that we're embedded in. And this is interference, actually. And what is interference? So I'm going to explain it a little bit in a heady way, and then we're going to clear it in a meditative way. So this karma interference is your dharmic path of liberation. So interference is, I think, our human curse, if you will, human cross, because we are in this paradoxical embodiment of being a body and a soul at the same time. And our bodies are not just subjected to, they're motivated by pain and pleasure, by all the opposites, by all the polarities, by this dualism, they call it in Buddhism. So in Buddhism, when you meditate and you get to this place of transcendence of this Buddha state or this enlightened state, you're at the same time, these are the three vices. You're trying not to be ignorant, you are trying not to be attached, and you try not to have aversion. So you're basically trying to rise above these pulls of the dualism, understanding that they're two sides of the same coin, right? Kind of like Taoism too, the yin yang polarities of things. So the problem with that is if we operate from a cognitive ego, logical like mind that thinks good, bad, or thinks in terms of polarities and needs to survive, to stay safe, we need to not go towards the hot stove or towards the thing that's full of thorns or whatever, right? It makes perfect sense to want to protect the body and use pain as a guide. The avoidance of pain, and this we can extrapolate to emotional pain, all kinds of stuff, conflict, you name it. It makes perfect sense until it doesn't, until it becomes something we're so attached to, kind of like in the yin yang dynamic, that it becomes a shadow part. So, what are some examples? Um, Even earlier today, we talked about love. What is love in this relationship this person was in? So attached to no conflict, everything going well, so afraid of the breakup that it no longer felt like love. It felt almost like a possessive, obsessive um sort of captivity that this other person's partner was in, and it felt to my client afraid of letting go, and focusing on the self. And even it was scary to trust love because it felt like there was some hook or some kind of captivity, energetic manipulation, if you operated from neediness and from fear, or telling this person, I love you so much, I'm not going to be okay without you. So it offers you some assurance that everything's going to be okay, right? But that's not love. So this is our challenge as humans. We want to transcend to this place of spaciousness, of freedom, of wisdom, of love that's free, of love, even as I explained to her, this love is not even sort of a mental muscle like fear, right? Fear causing us to constrict, causing us to do all these things, causing us to control. It's not love at the counter, arm wrestling back with fear. It's more like dissolving into the state of love. It's not even what I said to her, like a half empty, half full kind of dynamic where fear is pessimistic, love is optimistic. I see it more as fear is like food coloring, and if your mind is like a glass of water, it's going to be very intense. If your mind is more like a pond, it's already more dilute. If your mind is more like a lake or an ocean, this fear gets more and more dilute, right? So it's twofold, because we also don't want to emotionally bypass or spiritual bypass. We're like, oh, we're an ocean, and there's no little body, and you can do with me whatever you want. I never die, and you will die physically. And there's a lot that's being done to manipulate our soft bodies or other people's, on purpose, to drive interference in us. So it's very, very tricky what our human nature, what we are to do. So we are to do this paradoxical thing where we're honoring our small vessel, and we acknowledge fear, we acknowledge what's happening. We can even acknowledge how bad it is or how much is done at a current time. And as bad as this is, I mean, it is bad, it's global, it's affecting so many millions of people. But in the past, it was done very severely too, maybe on most of the time in smaller scales, in villages, in place, or over time with enslaved people, millions. But most of the time it was more concentrated and intense, like you could have a massacre, when you have the most severe thing happening. Um, so it's like it's acknowledging that, and at the same time not allowing it to drive a wedge between you and your authentic self, and stay liberated, know that nature and love, I define love as nature, as your body naturally healing, naturally, getting aligned, naturally harmonizing. That is always bigger, and you can always tap into that. So people get often confused, and they're like, well, if I'm there, I'm bypassing, I'm ignoring all that, right? Because that's our ego mind. It wants to do either or. You're either there or you're there. So double-mindedness is 51% here, at least 1% in the truth of who we are, even if we're the last woman standing, all women here, or last person standing, know who the truth is of who we are and what we're subjected to. But hopefully it's not that bad, where we're standing here 1 degree more in this than this oppressive fear. And I say do it only 90% of the time. You don't even have to do it 100% of the time. If you're 1% there, 90% of the time, you're already going to see a 180-degree shift in well-being. So now when you're more in your well-being, even if this is happening, there's no affected, there's no denying, there's no ignorance of all this happening when you're here. There's actually more clarity, more ability to look at it straight in the face, more clarity in terms of what is my next step, more clarity not to get your energy scattered, no clarity not to engage in a lot of blind action, like you must do something because something must be done. Those are two different things. Something must be done about the problem, but that doesn't mean necessarily you are the one to do it. You got to figure out what are you to do, whether it's being the one staking space and being a placeholder for others, so that they kind of reset and see clear what they need to do, right? All of that. So there's a huge, it's a huge dilemma, especially when all of this is intentionally done by people who abuse power. And you have seen it politically, religiously, throughout history. But honestly, if you look around you and you look in your family, you look in your circles, your work, all humans do a version of that. So it's um we can work on this on our own, and we already are contributing to the healing, because a leader a leader is only able to reel so many people in when they're vulnerable, when they're already sort of shaky here, right? So a lot needs to be done. I wish everybody could be liberated and safe, but we have to also respect the immensity of the task and everybody's journey, and can't fix and do this for our own so we feel better. We need to do what we need to do and support people, get the word out, help them in whatever way we're called to, so that they get stronger, right? And it's hard on my own love, my own family, kids, my clients, everybody, sometimes I see this coming in and I wish I had a magic wand and could do that. But, there's lots of learning as you push each and every, interfering thought or belief, self-belief, shame, whatever it is out of you. It needs to happen slowly and paced out for it to be tested and being able to hold your ground. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And we're gonna now go into meditation. Again, like we did last time, but maybe a little faster. So we center here, we sit here, we are with our tree. And as I go in trance, you'll see my pace changes a bit, and new information comes through. What I did want to say before I do that, just full transparency, we're going to work from the bottom up. And I said also in my email, I find it much more effective, powerful than trying everything from the top down. And I wanted to also say that from the bottom up is some of these meditations where I go deep in the body, but from the bottom up also means movement and getting in the body and doing body work. Mimi's an amazing body worker. I work with her sometimes, but I just went and did a workout or any kind of movement to get the energy flowing, because it's very hard to completely clear it if you're not moving yourself, right? And the blood and all we're working with aligning mind, body, heart, soul, but it's really hard to fully align body if all this energy is just sluggish and hard to move because of the frozenness of fear. So make sure you do that too. Thank you for joining me today in staking out spiritual space in solidarity and in community. Please share this video and the Zoom link below with anyone who would love some support in hearing their authentic voice over all the noise and realign with clear choice. I offer me time through meditation virtual meetings every second and fourth Monday of the month from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. PST. If you would like deeper and more personalized guidance, how to heal, love, lead with soul authority, please visit me at soulauthoritycoaching.com or thesacredhealingwell.com for more information.